So, ladies and gentlemen, Senator for Narok County, Ledamo Rekina, posted on his Twitter wall and warned Safaricom that if they're not going to be independent, then that company will be a history. I remembered one time the Deputy President, Rigathi Gachagua, when he was in campaign, he mentioned something to do with how if the Kenya Kwanza government won the presidency or took the government, they would consider bringing money back to the society or to the ground, to the bottom of the pyramid. I mean, the bottom-up economic model. And one of the things he mentioned that trended sometimes back is that there is no need to have a big company like a Safaricom controlling over 200 billions of money when the ground is suffering without money.
Hadu ukona kaboni mwenene itago Safaricom irari haigotire. Ukioya pesa icio cia kaboni nene wikire kuri andu aingi mari kanini.
There seemed to be a deliberate move by the government to weaken Safaricom, which in the end might end up killing Safaricom as a telecommunication company. So ladies and gentlemen, today I'm joined by three of my friends who will help me to dissect this issue and see some of the things that the president is doing or the government is doing deliberately that we think will end up weakening Safaricom as a company. Maybe we will start with my friend from the far end. You can introduce yourself.
Thank you. My name's George Gitonga. Mm-hmm. Thank you for the invite.
Karibu sana. Welcome to Kim Explains. Then number two is... I
am Moses Dennis, and also I appreciate this.
Welcome to Kim Explains, Mr. Dennis. We have also...
My name is David. Thank you for having me. Mm-hmm. And I appreciate this opportunity.
Karibu sana, David. By the way, thank you so much for being part of the Kim Explains team. Ever since I started this platform or when I started being in the limelight of politics. Now, David, when we were speaking with you, you told me something. The politician wants us to understand that it is a way of Kenya Kwanza government bringing money back to the pockets of Mwananchi. But in your argument, I heard like you understand it like a form of state capture from one capture to another.
The Kenya Kwanza government, when they were campaigning, they tried to convince the Wananchi or the voter that whatever is eating the nation is what they called state capture.
Sure.
And they really mean to finish the state capture. This the thing they are calling Hustler Fund.
The Hustler Fund.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And in my argument, I even don't understand what Hustler Fund is. Mm-hmm. Okay? Mm-hmm. Because the reason as to why I'm telling you, I may not even understand why what is Hustler Fund exactly. Mm-hmm. Because we have so many other alternatives. Mm-hmm. We had other affirmative actions fund. We had other loaning platforms. Mm-hmm. But instead of strengthening what we had, they introduced another fund, which I don't think it was very necessary unless they had another agenda. And I really think that agenda was to kill the state capture. Okay?
Yes.
Now, I want to take you back to the genesis of M-Shwari and the genesis of what we call Fuliza.
Yes, Fuliza.
Okay? Fuliza, the genesis of Fuliza, we can track it back to NCBA. The original idea was KCB, but it was kind of captured by the NCBA. Okay. And we all understand that NCBA is owned by those they called dynasty by then. I don't know whether they still call them dynasty or they call themselves dynasties now that they are the ones who are in the government. Now there is a relationship between Safaricom and NCBA. And the relationship is M-Shwari and Fuliza.
Yes.
Because if today you are to be listed to CRB, you are sent to NCBA to go and clear. Okay? So it means that there is a working relationship between the two, Safaricom M-Pesa and the NCBA.
Partly owned by one of the dynasties.
Yes, which is partly owned by part of the dynasties. By bringing Hasra Fund, they are trying to divert the consumption of Fuliza and the consumption of
Yes.
M-Shwari.
Okay.
Because the same people who consume Fuliza and M-Shwari,
Yes.
they are the same people who are going now to move from the M-Shwari and Fuliza and go to
Hustler Fund.
Hustler Fund. What will happen? Safaricom will cut their transaction with now the NCBA, or rather what we are calling a bank which is owned by the dynasty.
Yeah, obviously
now,
the business will go down.
Yes, their business will go down. Since they don't have, there is no transaction that will make the consumer of the loan go to the NCBA. So the link, of course, will cut, or the business transaction will go down.
Yes.
Okay. Once that happens, Safaricom will not have any other option apart from relying with the Hasra Fund. We even don't know who controls the Hasra Fund, but we believe it's the government because that is what they want us to understand. So if Hasra Fund, in this case, is able to peak to a level of where Fuliza is or where the M-Shwari was back then, it means that the income statement of Safaricom will mostly rely on the transaction of the Hasra Fund. So they are likely to be manipulated, or rather to be blackmailed by the government, and they give in easily because the government have something to withdraw from.
Now I think I'm getting you. You're saying that we are trying to save the country from state capture by an individual who in this case is a dynasty. And now in this case we have brought a hustlers fund which we don't know where it has come from, but the government is telling us it is a government fund. So it is indeed giving meaning to the real meaning of the state capture, because in this case it is the state capturing the private entity.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah, now I think you now understand where I'm coming from.
I understand.
Now, once this happens, Safaricom will no longer be dependent. Because everything that the government wants from Safaricom, Safaricom will have to give in.
Okay.
If they don't, of course, the government will have something to do. You understand how?
So that is obviously the reason why you think Ledamo Olekina wants Safaricom
to be dependent,
to be wary of.
Yes. If they are not cautious, if Safaricom is not cautious and it continues transacting or conducting business with the government, it is at the verge of collapsing.
Sure. I remember in the early years of 1980s, or between 1980s and 1990s, there was a big company called KCC, and it ended in the same way.
Yeah,
the government had interest, and then the control was captured by someone, what they term as state capture. I remember during those years, they were about to buy Neso. It's a food industry. It was such big, but now after the exit of President Moi, or immediately before he exited the government, the company went down, and now the milk industry or the creamery industry is being controlled by someone else. So it is not news that really a big company like Safaricom can also be finished.
Sure.
If the government means to finish it.
Imagine my friend, Kim, currently, everybody, including yourself, knows that anything that government takes, mention any of state corporation that is making profit, there is none. They shrink, and then they eventually either collapse or they continue running in losses. If you are a social media guy, of which I know you are,
yes,
it is what is trending currently in Twitter. Go to even the Facebook pages of those people who you know they are influential in social media. You will see them. If Safaricom is accept to be captured by the government, they are going to collapse.
Shida. Mr. Dennis,
Oh, yes.
You also think that Safaricom or Safaricom is also going to collapse?
Not only thinking, Kim, but I also believe that at the end of the day, we are going to see Safaricom on the ground. It will be there, but the way it will be running, you will not feel its effect. Let me take you back to some statement which President Ruto said.
Yes.
He clearly stated that for KRA to work or to function better, it needs to upgrade.
Okay.
at least so that it can be in the level of where the other companies are.
In this case, you mean they must expand the tax base?
Exactly.
I remember.
And to expand this one, it has to reach many people. And where are these many people? These many people are transacting with Safaricom M-Pesa. So how does the government achieve getting to these people? It is by linking Safaricom M-Pesa with KRA system.
Okay.
And I want to remind you that
I remember a few days ago I saw the government has expressed interest to link the M-Pesa system with the KRA.
Exactly.
So the KRA will be deducting taxes directly from the transactions.
Exactly. When he compared the number of subscribers who are registered with M-Pesa, there are far way many compared to those who have KRA pins. And remember, those who have KRA pins are the only one who are paying taxes. We have 30 million with registered with M-Pesa, but we have only 7 million registered with KRA. So that means, from his perception, is that the rest of 23 million Kenyans are not paying any tax.
Yet they are transacting.
The customers or the subscribers of M-Pesa will feel that their privacy is being invaded, and they will not even mind. I myself, as a subscriber, I will withdraw because I know that somebody else is getting my transaction information.
Is infringing your right.
Exactly. So the moment I withdraw from using Safaricom M-Pesa, I'll go for other alternatives. For example, I will go for cash transaction because nobody will track me on cash transactions. If I purchase something, I'll go, I pay you cash, you give me my product, I go.
So reducing the financial income or the financial.
In this case, Safaricom loses me as a subscriber, loses whatever I was generating to them as revenue. And that means they will start making very low incomes. And at the end of the day, the government could have been the reason or will be the reason why Safaricom is going down.
I also remember immediately after the government expressed that interest to link Safaricom, the M-Pesa and KRA, some people went to court and they are trending. I think you have seen a link inviting Kenyans to join and sue Safaricom.
Because that is not right.
Sure.
That is not right.
And you see, our courts are designed in a very funny way. Our court, you can hear today, the court has so much power that they can rule that Safaricom be closed with immediate effect, so that as we look into this issue.
Look at those guys who are doing some small businesses. For example, we can talk about the Mamboga. They have till numbers where they receive their little money they make daily with. Now, if the government goes checking on how much they transact, in a month you might realize that the outflow and inflow of money is too high. And you will think, or you have that perception that they're earning a lot of money. Because maybe I have 1,000 bob as my capital. I will go, I purchase some purchases to sell, I pay with M-Pesa. I come, I sell, I receive whatever I receive with M-Pesa. So at the end of the day, in a day, I might make a transaction of 3,000 or 2,000. And maybe probably from there...
inflow and outflow.
Yeah, because of the inflow and outflow. So if you make that perception or have that perception that I am having a lot of money, that's why I'm transacting a lot, it is wrong. Because my income is not that the in and outflow of money through my M-Pesa. So you will end up taxing me what I don't have. So if I know that you will tax me that way, I will also stop using M-Pesa. Because I know that you will have this thought that I'm having a lot of money and you end up taxing me. So what I do is I withdraw from using M-Pesa and then I start again.
You restrict yourself to cash to avoid the taxes.
To avoid the taxes.
In return, the Safaricom is losing revenue. My friend George.
Yes.
There's also another request by the parliament, the Kenya Kwanza side, is asking Safaricom to split Safaricom and M-Pesa, because they are arguing that M-Pesa should be registered by the central bank, and then Safaricom as a telecommunication company should be registered with the Communications Authority. How do you think that will affect the business of Safaricom, and why do you think that will contribute to Safaricom going down?
Thank you, and I'll start from who owns Safaricom. Safaricom is owned 35% by our government, 35% by Vodafone, 5% by Vodacom,
The rest
25% by the public. So, as much as the government is in as a shareholder, what we are seeing is it has gone further from being a shareholder to interfere with the day-to-day decision-making of Safaricom. This now makes Safaricom become a puppet of the government, because if the government says move right, you'll move right. Move left, you'll move left. Why do we feel that the Senator of Narok said Safaricom should be independent? I believe if their political party was in power, they would still do the same. It is all in the interest. As per 2021, M-Pesa had 32 million active subscribers. This means that if this company goes into financial institution, it's going to control all the shares. So everyone will shift now to M-Pesa. M-Pesa have agents. These agents serve their customer at the lowest level of the community. Every M-Pesa agent has to go to a bank to buy for their float, right? If this ever happens, that M-Pesa splits from Safaricom, we'll see poor performance in the financial sector of the mother company, which is Safaricom.
So you predict that Safaricom would become now a mobile bank?
Yes.
And you see, if we have to split Safaricom and M-Pesa, such that M-Pesa becomes a bank, as you say,
Yes.
Safaricom will therefore remain as a telecommunication company.
Yes.
Now, you understand that as a telecommunication company, Safaricom is one of the most expensive in Kenya. And so I think it will give their competitor
Yes.
a leeway or an upper hand to come and compete with them. As a matter of fact, if you ask most people, they will tell you that they are in Safaricom while it is still the most expensive tariff because of this M-Pesa. Now you have unlinked.
Yes.
Now there's now this new telecommunication company, or rather the Safaricom as a telecommunication company will remain with the business of now calling, SMSing and such communications.
Yes.
I really trace that back from campaign period again, when the president, William Samoei Ruto, said that he's going to make sure that the whole country is connected to the internet. Now, I think that the whole thing was predetermined. In my view, Safaricom collapsing again, Safaricom as a telecommunication company collapsing because, one, now there is this guy by the name Elon Musk.
Yeah, Elon Musk.
Is bringing a Starlink.
The Starlink.
Whereby, if, for example, we want to communicate within Nairobi, we only maybe need maybe 2, 3, or 4 satellite discs. And then instead of calling, we will now be calling over the internet.
President Ruto had promised that the whole country will be connected to internet, and people joked about it. So it was all about this, that the president is intending to enter into a deal with
Elon Musk.
Elon Musk.
Yes, and that is how Safaricom and their bundles and their airtime is going to die, because there will no transaction of business of I want to buy airtime, I want to do this, I want to do that, so that I can communicate.
So the communication will no longer be dwelling on the airtime, and that makes the Safaricom, unless they provide free services, the lines will be useless in terms of communication.
Yes, and unless they ship in very, very fast, because, okay, though I cannot foresee that coming, unless they outsmart now the Elon Musk, they might have to ship out.
All these things that we have said here are supposed to be implemented within 1 year, 2023. I heard that in the next 6 months, Elon Musk will have come to Kenya and we should have been connected with electricity.
Actually, it is in the next 2 months. It is in the first quarter, is in the second quarter of the year. That means between the March and June.
He will have come.
He will have connected.
Na vile naona huyo jamani kama anaweza kuja usione kama ni mchezo.
And you see, so, ametarget Nairobi, ametarget Nakuru, Eldoret, Mombasa and Kisumu.
The major cities only.
The major cities. Once ameconnect hizo, amecapture country mzima. Now what is SAFARICOM will be doing in the telecommunication industry?
So you guys are predicting that SAFARICOM will go down.
Kenya naweza sema pia ni hakuna ndovu yezi anguka.
Hakuna.
I believe every one of us have seen mighty companies in Kenya come down.
Sure.
From Nakumatt, Uchumi, Tuskies. What does it mean in the next 2 years? When M-Pesa now splits, we might see the collapse of this company.
Very sad news. So thank you very much guys for coming and for honoring my invite. It was such an honor. And to our viewers, that is the opinion of my panelists. They believe that SAFARICOM will fall, or the downfall of SAFARICOM is just about to hit in. What do you think? Tell us in the comment section. If you're not subscribed to this channel, kindly do so, and don't forget to ring that notification bell. Let's meet in the next video.